A black geyser shooting up in my yard like a death knell for the neighborhood's most notorious HOA president. Now, that's not something you see every day, is it? You want to know what poetic justice looks like? Picture Karen Blackwood standing there in her cream blazer barking orders like she ran the place, convinced the world owed her obedience. She'd ordered a drilling crew, her community improvement project, right into the heart of my land, spouting off about shared resources and property values, not a clue she was about to wake a sleeping giant. Or in this case, a federally protected oil pipeline sitting 47 feet beneath my late granddad's rose garden. I know it sounds wild. Let me back up a second so you really get why I didn't warn her. Name's Ezra Holloway. I'm 35, a retired electrician thanks to a busted back, never part of the plan. But life has a way of making its own rules. Me and my daughter Lily, 8 years old and too smart for her own good. We live on the 2-acre plot my granddad bought back when land was cheap and folks didn't need HOAs to tell them how to plant a mailbox. For years, the place just felt like home, a little overgrown, sure, but honest. Until Karen showed up. You know, the type HOA president who believes she's a benevolent dictator, live streaming every meeting like it's a national emergency. She came marching up my driveway one March morning, flanked by her 2 loyal but visibly exhausted sidekicks, and started listing off my crimes. The grass, the garden, the ancient mailbox, nothing fit the Pine Valley aesthetic. She handed me a violation notice like it was a court summons and told me I had 30 days to comply. I didn't argue, didn't even frown, just smiled, nodded, and told her I'd look into it. Thing is, I'd already spent more nights than I care to admit studying property laws, digging through Granddad's paperwork. There was this envelope I found 3 years back, hidden in a busted file cabinet, a hand-drawn map, and letters referencing a federal pipeline installed in 87 contract numbers. Department of Energy stamps the works. My granddad had been a survey engineer before he became a farmer. The man knew every inch of this land, what grew, what ran under it, what should never be touched. Karen mistook my politeness for surrender. That was her first mistake. She cranked up the pressure, sending more notices, rallying the neighbors with stories that I was about to open a junkyard or build rental units. Petitions circulated, her Facebook Live audience grew, and I became the villain in her HOA morality play. That's when she made her fatal move, announcing on camera, no less, that she'd be drilling a community well on the edge of my property, supposedly for the good of us all. Now this is where things get interesting. Most folks saw a determined woman fighting for the neighborhood. But see, I did my homework. Turns out Karen wasn't just any retired lawyer, she specialized in environmental litigation. The kind of cases where you sue big oil for pipeline leaks, rack up million-dollar settlements, and walk away a hero. She'd made a living off disasters. She'd also hired a private investigation firm to dig into me, my finances, my daughter's school, even my medical records. The whole 9 yards. And when she thought no one was listening, she let slip to a neighbor that some people don't belong in upscale communities. That's when I realized she wasn't just after my yard. She was after my life. And she'd stop at nothing. I called Marcus, an old college buddy who now worked for the Department of Energy as a pipeline inspector. He didn't sugarcoat it. Ezra, if they hit that line, it's not just a spill. It's a federal disaster. You could lose your house, maybe go to prison if she drags you in. He told me to stay alert, be ready to evacuate, and gave me a direct line to DOE's emergency response, just in case. So Monday rolls around. Karen arrives at dawn with a film crew that would make Hollywood jealous. Brad, her ex-husband, and today's equipment operator looked nervous but dutiful. The drill started spinning live streams, rolling neighbors cheering, most of them anyway. I stood at my kitchen window, manila envelope in hand, fingers shaking. My daughter was safe at a friend's house, and I was counting feet as the drill chewed through clay and stone straight toward disaster. By noon, the audience on Karen's feed had ballooned to 20,000. She's narrating every move, basking in her supposed triumph. Meanwhile, I'm watching my phone, getting texts from Marcus. Pressure sensors are picking up irregularities underground. I realize Karen's not just reckless, she's orchestrating this whole thing. All weekend, I'd been piecing together evidence-contaminated well water in 3 neighbors' homes, all suddenly backing her drilling project. Coincidence? Not a chance. I got samples tested. Someone had spiked the water with petroleum compounds. This was manufactured chaos, all to justify her emergency project. The twist. My daughter Lily, 8 years old and fearless, had recorded Karen talking on the phone about how an explosion would guarantee a settlement. That kid uploaded the evidence to the cloud, sent it to me, Marcus, and our neighbor Doris. That was the smoking gun. At 1:45, with the drill 2 feet away from breaching the pipeline, the DOE, FBI, and 3 black SUVs screeched onto Pine Valley Road. Karen, oblivious, was giving one last rousing speech. Brad, meanwhile, had quietly started filming his own confession. He wanted it clear he was just following orders, not part of any scheme. That's when Karen's phone lit up and her wireless mic, still live, broadcast her meltdown to 30,000 people. "What do you mean the FBI is here? We're 3 inches away. Just finished the job." Brad put down the drill and announced on both streams that he was done risking prison for her madness. I walked into frame, holding up the envelope, reading aloud the details of the pipeline, daring Karen to deny it on camera. She tried. She called me selfish, accused me of sabotaging her plan for community benefit. But then Brad laid out the truth. "Karen, we're about to hit a pressurized federal oil line. Your plan isn't just dangerous, it's criminal." Seconds later, Agent Morrison from the FBI stepped in, reading Karen her rights as the chat went wild and neighbors cheered from their porches. Karen tried to run, slipped, fell face first in a muddy puddle, her cream blazer ruined. That image, her being handcuffed, live-streamed to an audience that would soon top 60,000, became a meme before sundown. Brad turned over his footage. My daughter's recording made the front page of every local news site. Turns out Karen's scheme wasn't just a one-off. The feds uncovered similar plots in 7 other states, masterminded by her and a network of corrupt contractors. In court, she broke down, confessed to everything. 18 years, no parole for 12. Brad got off clean, ended up marrying Doris, by the way, and they're great neighbors now. The government awarded me a settlement for protecting federal infrastructure, but what mattered more was seeing our little corner of the world restored. The site where Karen's rig almost caused a disaster. It's a community garden now, kids playing where pipelines run deep and dangerous. So what did I learn? Sometimes the only way to beat a bully is to let them dig their own hole, just don't stand in it. And sometimes community isn't about rules or HOA newsletters or perfect lawns. It's about looking out for each other, even when the stakes are sky high. Karen wanted power. What she got was justice, witnessed by thousands who will never forget the day an empire fell with the twist of a drill. Now I want to hear from you. Who was right? Who was wrong? Where do you draw the line between protecting a community and controlling it? Drop your thoughts below, because if this story proves anything, it's that one person willing to stand their ground can change everything. And that's a story worth sharing.